Girl, the internet is on fire again. And when I tell you the circus is not just circusing, it is literally setting the tent on fire. Just when the world thought Chrisean had finally reached her limit of public humiliation, she proved everyone wrong in the most explosive way possible. Out of nowhere, she pulled up on Jaidyn Alexis and launched herself straight into a fight, all because of Blueface. Yes, that Blueface. The same man she claimed she had walked away from. The same man she said she had spiritually outgrown. The same man she keeps running back to like it is a never-ending tragedy. And let us not forget, she was just on live a few days ago, preaching about how she had given her life to Christ, how she had purchased acres of land in Baltimore, how she was ready to start fresh, far from the chaos and toxicity that has defined her entire relationship with him. But deep down, we all knew better. We have seen this storyline too many times. It is like watching someone try to leave a burning building, but turning back because they forgot their favorite lighter. Because here we are again, Chrisean still emotionally chained to that man, still fighting battles that should not even exist, still throwing hands just to claim a spot in the life of someone who refuses to claim her or their child. Mind you, this is the same man who would not even acknowledge their son and even had the audacity to post the baby's private photos on the internet. Yes. Those photos. The whole internet remembers that moment. Now here is where the plot thickens. This entire mess with Chrisean and Jaden went down immediately after Blueface walked out of jail. It is like the moment he touched fresh air, all the demons came out to play. So picture this, Blueface decides to take Jaden's children and his mother, Carlisa, to a family gaming spot. Just a quiet little outing. Just a moment for them to breathe without drama, without cameras, without chaos. But of course, that is never how things go in this universe. Because Chrisean, being Chrisean, pulled up uninvited like a walking cliffhanger and ruined the entire atmosphere in seconds. And listen, it would have been messy enough if she had simply walked in. But no. She went live. She pulled out her phone and decided to broadcast the entire situation in real time, fully aware that Jaden would lose every ounce of her calm the moment she saw Chrisean anywhere near her children. And guess what? That is exactly what happened. Jaden snapped. She was ready to throw hands, chairs, prayers, anything she could reach. The tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. Now, their physical fight was not recorded, but the aftermath? Oh, the aftermath was loud. According to Blueface's mother, Carlisa, the moment Jaden arrived, Chrisean exploded, got mad, and ended up putting her hands on Jaden. And just like that, the internet got another episode of this never-ending chaos saga. You cannot make this up. Honestly, the chaos writes itself at this point. Imagine being furious because someone does not want you anywhere near their children. That alone says everything. Chrisean has spiraled so far off the edge that people are genuinely questioning whether she even recognizes how unhinged she has become. And let us be completely real, how can anyone trust you around their children when the internet has watched you struggle to even keep your own child safe? And Jaden? She has been saying it loud and clear. This was exactly why she never wanted Chrisean anywhere close to her kids. Her words were cold, brutal, and unforgettable. If a woman will poison her own baby, why in the world would I ever want her around mine? And honestly, many people agreed. What is even more shocking is how CPS has not stepped in yet, because the list of chaotic, reckless incidents that have gone down in that household is long enough to make anyone pause. But things officially crossed a new line when the fight between Chrisean and Jaden exploded into a full-on physical brawl, with Chrisean swinging at Jaden and her bodyguards. And according to Carlisa, the family's unofficial narrator of all drama, every detail of that chaos was true. Because then, another video dropped, the kind that sends social media into a frenzy within seconds. In the clip, you could clearly see Chrisean reaching to touch Jaden's daughter, even after Jaden had explicitly told her to keep her hands away from her children. And the moment she reached for that little girl, Carlisa snapped into survival mode like a guard dog protecting her last nerve. The tension was thick, uncomfortable, and dangerous. But it gets even messier. A few hours before Chrisean pulled up to the gaming place and detonated the entire atmosphere, Carlisa had posted screenshots of their private messages. And those messages said everything. It was painfully obvious that Chrisean did not come for peace, closure, or healing, she came to start a storm. Carlisa had messaged her. Gently, even offering support for the baby, if you want me to take him, I will meet you in the valley before I go. And Chrisean responded like she was possessed by pure rage, forget you. None of you will ever see my son in your lives. Leave me alone. And Carlisa, still trying to hold on to whatever Christian patience she had left, replied, I thought you were saved now. That was the only reason I tried. But Chrisean did not hesitate before detonating another verbal bomb. Girl, shut up. You are delusional. The conversation was a battlefield. And then Carlisa came back swinging with her own final strike. Yes, I am. But I do not have to be nice to the devil. He sent you. The entire energy surrounding them was radioactive. Every word felt like a slap, and every update spread across social platforms like wildfire. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all of them were devouring the chaos like it was a season finale. Meanwhile, Jaden handled it in the most disrespectfully calm way possible. While the internet expected her to scream, cry, or melt down online, she did the opposite. She dusted herself off, gathered her kids, straightened her hair, and hopped onto Instagram appearing completely unbothered. No ranting. No theatrics. Just that quiet, dangerous confidence that says, I am fine. Please do not test me. Her followers worshipped it. Unbothered queen. Grace under pressure. Giving grown woman energy. The comments were overflowing. But of course, there were skeptics too, accusing her of lying, covering up embarrassment, or pretending she had not been touched. Still, none of it fazed her. She acted like she was operating at a higher frequency, and honestly, that probably irritated Chrisean more than the actual fight. Because when Chrisean saw Jaden acting calm, classy, and completely unmoved, she snapped. She ran straight to Twitter with her usual fire, typing like her thumbs were fighting for their lives. Jaden, I do not know what is wrong with you, but watch your mouth. It was not subtle. It was not indirect. It was a public shot fired directly at her. Then came the line that made the entire internet freeze. I do not want to see you in harm's way because of your bitter and sour heart. The tone was emotional, threatening, dramatic, exactly the kind of statement that gets screenshotted, reposted, dissected, and magnified before she even finishes typing the last word. But she did not stop there. She spun the entire situation back toward Carlisa, claiming that the messages being shown were incomplete, that the truth was being hidden, and that the real story involved Jaden taking Blueface kids and then asking for money through his mother. Her words were sharp. How you take his kids from him and then ask for $1,000 through her? He just got out. He does not have to give you anything. How do you take a man's kids and then beg him for money the moment he comes home? The comment section erupted. Accusations. Defenses. Fan theories. People were choosing sides like it was a courtroom and the verdict depended on their tweet count. And just like that, another chapter of this never-ending chaos saga was written, messy, loud, dramatic, and absolutely unavoidable. The internet did not walk, it ran. It sprinted the moment this mess hit the timeline. Within minutes, social media turned into a digital battlefield. Some people rallied behind Chrisean, swearing she was finally exposing the truth everyone else was too scared to say out loud. Others dragged her for being messy, bored, hypocritical, or simply addicted to chaos. But the loudest voices? They were the exhausted ones, the people tired of watching the same three-person circus repeat itself every season like a show that refuses to get cancelled. Still, exhausted or not, nobody could look away. And while the entire internet was foaming at the mouth, waiting for Jaden to break down or clap back with fire, she did the exact opposite. No rants. No crying. No shaking camera angles or midnight lives. Nothing. Instead, she posted her kids. She posted her routine. She posted her peace. Every video was a quiet flex, a reminder that she had a life outside of the drama and was not about to let someone drag her into another emotional demolition derby. And honestly? That silence was brutal. Because nothing enrages a drama-hunting crowd more than someone refusing to entertain them. And the calmer she acted, the angrier Chrisean seemed to become. It was almost like the silence slapped harder than any insult. But everyone watching knew the truth behind the calm. This was not just a random clash between two women. This was years of build-up, resentment, unhealed wounds, receipts, screenshots, and emotional scar tissue. These women were connected through one man, a man who had never brought peace to anyone's life. Whenever he went to jail, came home, switched girlfriends, got a new house, lost a manager, started a fight, ended a fight, the women around him got sucked back into that gravitational pull of chaos. It was a cycle made of history, not coincidence. That $1,000 accusation? That was not a random jab. That was a breadcrumb leading back to deeper issues, co-parenting drama, money battles, who deserved support, who was lying, who was manipulating, who was enabling what. Each woman had her own fanbase, her own proof folder, her own timeline of events ready to drop if things escalated too far. This was not a single argument. This was an archive of pain exploding live. And of course, here comes Carlisa, the queen of inserting herself. Sometimes to defend her son. Sometimes to defend the truth. Sometimes just because being in the center of chaos is her personality at this point. Her comment about being saved now was not just shade, it was a full sermon. In her mind, she was the righteous mother fighting the spiritual battle of dealing with a girl she believed was sent to destroy everything. So when she said, "I do not have to be nice to the devil," it was not only an insult. It was a declaration of war wrapped in Bible verses and attitude. Whether people agreed or rolled their eyes did not matter, the dramatics alone fed the algorithm for hours. And the fans? They were going feral. People were replaying the clips frame by frame, comparing tone, studying body language like it was a college dissertation. TikTok edits, Twitter threads, Instagram lives, YouTube breakdowns, the commentary was endless. Every platform was overflowing because no one involved knew how to simply log off and breathe. Someone always had something to add. Someone always had another screenshot. The cycle never slept. And the wildest part? The predictability. Every time one of them said they were done, every time someone claimed healing, peace, growth, or moving on, the universe would throw one shady message, one half sentence, one subtle dig, and suddenly it was World War III all over again. So here they were, again. 3 women. 1 man. A million spectators. Chrisean, tweeting threats disguised as concern. Jaden, flexing peace and motherhood like the calm before a storm. Carlisa, preaching from her phone with dramatic pastor energy. And Blueface, the common denominator of every problem, silently floating in the background like the villain who never speaks until the final episode. But the internet was not done. They wanted more. They waited for another live, another screenshot, another tweet, another meltdown. Because deep down, everybody knows this storyline never goes quiet for long. And with Chrisean already heating up Twitter, Carlisa quoting Bible verses and throwing shade in the same sentence, and Jaden acting like she could not hear any of them, this entire saga was barely at the halfway point. Then came the prison part. 2 years. 2 entire years behind those walls. 2 years of sitting with your thoughts, replaying every betrayal, every argument, every mistake. 2 years of realizing who truly cares and who only shows up when it is convenient. Because people love to talk about loyalty until the consequences hit. And when the consequences hit, people reveal themselves. Before Blueface stepped into that prison, he did not treat everyone equally. He did not leave everyone with the same support system. He did not leave everyone with the same love. He left Jaden with a career, a car, and his chains, literal symbols of who he trusted most, who he invested in, who he believed had the stability to hold down his life while he was gone. Meanwhile, someone else got absolutely nothing. No car. No chain. No career push. Nothing. And still, even without being prioritized, even without being chosen, even without receiving the same foundation, she held him down during that first year. She showed up emotionally. She showed up physically. She made sure he had someone in his corner even though he did not give her that same energy before he left. But the real difference between these women, between someone grounded in reality and someone addicted to chaos, became clear the moment the online back and forth began spiraling. When the accusations turned wild and the disrespect went public, Jaden finally spoke up. Not to cry. Not to fight for attention. Not to beg. Not to prove anything to strangers online. She spoke to defend herself and her kids from lies being weaponized against her. Her clapback was surgical. Chrisean, I know you are coming down and finally processing things 3 days later, but thank you for putting a threat in writing. No screaming. No panicking. No performative drama. Just a clean, precise warning from a woman who was tired with a capital T. And that line alone? It shook the entire internet. And then Jaden dropped a bomb, the kind of line that cuts through every lie, every rumor, and every loud distraction. She said, I never asked him or anybody for money the entire time he had been gone. Please show me a message where I did. That one sentence? It shook the entire narrative. Because when the truth is on your side, you do not need theatrics. You do not need tantrums. You do not need to run around the internet acting like a tornado with a phone in your hand. You speak calmly, because the facts do the screaming for you. And Jaden is a facts-only woman. She survives off reality, not performance. She was right. For 2 years while Blueface was locked up, she did not beg, did not demand, did not cry for help. She handled her business like a grown adult, took care of her home, took care of her children, and never once leeched off anybody. So when she challenged Chrisean to produce proof, the silence from the other side said everything. Meanwhile, the loudest one in the room, the one threatening, posting, deleting, running, crying, yelling, is the same one couch hopping, the same one unable to maintain a stable environment, the same one using furniture and toys that Jaden paid for. Imagine fighting online with a woman whose money is making your child more comfortable. The delusion is absolutely unbelievable. But the part that truly strikes the heart is what happened with the kids. After staying quiet, after minding her own world, after trying to keep things peaceful, Jaden finally came and collected her children. Her reasoning? Because there was an incompetent person around without my consent or presence. And that line tells an entire story on its own. This is not jealousy. This is not insecurity. This is not about who Blue loved more. This is about safety, boundaries, parenting, responsibility. A mother has every right to decide who can and cannot be around her children. A mother has every right to remove her kids when she feels a situation is unstable. If Jaden is calling someone incompetent, that means behaviors happened that crossed a line. Behaviors that made her uncomfortable. Behaviors that made her feel her children were not being protected. And despite all of this, despite the emotional weight she carries, the business she runs, the children she raises, and the drama thrown at her every other week, Jaidyn kept everything off the internet until she was pushed past her limit. And when she did speak, she did not scream. She did not crumble. She did not embarrass herself. She simply said, "What or how I parent should never be your main concern when you should be taking notes." A dagger. A lesson. A warning. All in one line. Because while one woman is addicted to chaos, performing for social media, stabbing at people for attention, and living in a constant storm, the other is building a life. Planning. Organizing. Parenting. Healing. Growing. No mother is perfect, but one of them is clearly walking with purpose, and the other is running with confusion. Jaidyn is quiet because she has something to lose. Chrisean is loud because she has something to prove. Chrisean's pattern is exhausting, victim one moment, aggressor the next. She throws a tantrum, picks a fight, stirs drama, then cries about respect. She acts out, scares people, deletes the evidence, and then asks why people do not believe her. She drags children into situations they should never be a part of. She posts impulsively, deletes impulsively, then wonders why her story never adds up. And the saddest part? She does not realize she is the one sabotaging herself. She expects everyone to match her chaos. When someone is calm, grounded, and secure in who they are, she cannot stand it. She tries harder to break their peace because she has none of her own. Jaidyn refused to match that. She did not crumble. She did not fold. She did not panic. She protected her kids. She protected her peace. And when she finally responded, she cleared her, cleanly, elegantly, and without lowering herself to the madness. She did not just clap back. She dismantled the lies, exposed the insecurity, and revealed the delusion in one calm swing. In the end, it does not matter how loud someone screams online, how many threats they type, or how many messy rants they post. The truth always speaks louder. And in this situation, the truth is painfully obvious. One woman is growing. The other is spiraling. One woman is focused. The other is drowning in her own chaos. One woman is building a future. The other is fighting ghosts. And Jaidyn? She won without even trying. She stood in her power and let the truth expose everything that needed exposing. And now the internet is asking the real question, is Jaidyn the better mother? Is she more stable? More grounded? More protective? Because at this point, it is not even a debate. Even people who do not like her are admitting she is carrying herself with far more responsibility than the one constantly yelling online. And one comment said it perfectly, "I hate to say it, but Blue getting out of jail was the worst thing, because now we are back in a group chat we never wanted to be in." So what do you think? Where do you stand in this mess? Is Jaidyn the better mother? Is Chrisean spiraling too far to see reality? Let me know in the comments below. And do not forget, click right here to watch the next messy video that will have your jaw on the floor.